Welcome to the Last Give podcast. I'm co-host, my boy Flash on the right of y'all screens. I think we're trying out this new software, so we had some serious tech issues with the last one. So we're hopefully this one's gonna give us even better coverage to bring to y'all.
What's
Going
up,
off
y'all?
today,
It
we're
is Flash.
just coming just so. All
I just
right,
gotta make sure
whatever.
my
We'll go with
audio
that.
works. I gotta make sure my audio works. There's no audio issue, right?
All right, no. All right, so
All
today
right,
we're covering
perfect,
over
perfect.
the NFL, NBA, and college football. We're dropping the NHL for this week only because the rookies are now reporting to training camp, so we'll have more stuff on NHL coming up next week. But this week, week one, we're going to dive deep into these games. Pretty much, we're going to go into almost every game, a little bit in depth, and then predictions for week two coming up too. So I don't know how many stuff we have left before we kick off. But Flash, you got anything to add to these beautiful people out here?
I'm gonna be honest. I can see every detail about me on this. Like, sheesh. This new software came in through. Like, shout out to Stank Bastard for hooking us up on this software because it is way better.
Recommending.
It, it's way better, y'all. For us to get kicked off. Any other differences should I be aware of? I know we don't have an official timer anymore, but at least we got a bottom line going on. That's about it.
Yeah, so we're going to be kind of winging up our timing schedules.
All right.
But also remember, people, welcome to comment in the. Make sure you can leave any kind
we
of
still
thing,
have a
questions,
comment section
comments
for you
that you have.
guys. So,
Yeah.
if you need to comment anything, we can still see your comments. It's right here, and I'm so excited. I mean, I cannot complain about this software at all, and we should hit it. Peeps, play it. All right, and we have officially kicked off our new episode of the Last Give podcast. Let's get it, y'all. I am so excited. All right, what we got on deck, Ace? What we got?
All right. Well, we're gonna start off from the Thursday night football game, and then we're gonna work our way down. So Thursday night was kickoff NFL opening week. The new kind of banner, if you want to say, on Raymond James Stadium was unveiled for their championship. The Brady and the Bucks didn't look like they didn't miss a beat on offense. They had like 3 turnovers, but like one of them was a fluke. Brady had 2 late interceptions. Didn't really matter, but they beat the Cowboys anyway, 31-29 on a game-winning field goal from the kicker
I
is
think
Ryan.
Brady played well that game.
Yeah.
I could easily say Brady played well. I mean, I think the Buccaneers have a few things they got to tweak up before we see them back in how they were for the Super Bowl this last go around. But as we all know, we should be very excited for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, especially that we are all Tampa natives. I like what I saw out of that Antonio Brown pass. I thought that was really good. That looked like Antonio Brown from the past. Maybe we'll see a lot more of that as he get more comfortable in the Tampa Bay system. Along seeing Chris Godwin play well, I think Chris Godwin is going to be that guy this season, actually, while Mike Evans is going to be dealing with the more better DBs that are going to give him hell this season. Cough, cough, Marshawn Lattimore and those guys.
Well, we'll get into Lattimore later on in this segment, but yeah. So we had Ryan Succop hit that game-winning field goal. He had his son's birthday party the next day. He was telling the media, and when he hit that kick, head coach Bruce Arians said it's gonna be one fun birthday party the next day. So I thought that was kind of cool. Dak Prescott, he impressed. He was 42-58, 403 yards, 3 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. That went straight through CeeDee Lamb's hands, and producer JP's here commenting. He's like, Mike Evans gonna get his eventually.
I know that he's gonna get his, but I mean, I think Chris Godwin is still gonna have those catches, and even when Chris Godwin asks for his money and stuff, they're gonna have AB to replace him. I was thinking more of that, Mr. J Peeps, but we shall see. Like I said, I don't think the Buccaneers have missing a beat a lot.
Yeah,
but let's talk about the Cowboys.
Mike Evans. Yeah,
let's talk about the Cowboys. They were actually impressive. I believe Dak Prescott is that guy for the Cowboys. He should be the franchise guy. Not even kidding with you.
He is getting paid like a franchise guy.
No, like
what are you talking about?
No, he is that guy for the Cowboys. Like that man better be retiring in a Cowboys. He needs to be retiring in a Cowboys jersey. That's what I'm trying to say, Ace. All right, because he is that good.
Oh, well, you didn't even clarify what you were saying.
I was alluding to it. I mean, look at how he fed his receivers and stuff. Like the receiving game on the Cowboys is good. The only thing
did I just die?
I got questions for Ezekiel Elliott though. 33 yards. Come on, 33 yards.
That was, I think, game scripted because Dallas played into their strengths, which was their wide receivers playing one-on-ones against the Bucs' strength, which was their defensive line attacking up the middle. So I think the Cowboys, it was more the coaching strategy was the game plan was we're going to throw more than we're going to run because we're not going to be successful running. That's why you didn't see Zeke put up those numbers that we've seen in the past. But I think Zeke's gonna, like how JP was saying, Mike Evans gonna get his. Ezekiel is gonna produce this season. I'm not worried too much about. You're gonna have all-pro offensive lineman just came off the COVID with Zach Martin, so he's gonna be there for them to play the Chargers week 2. So I mean, the Cowboys looked good. I think they're gonna be serious contenders in the NFC East. But we'll get into the Eagles. I think they looked really good, albeit against the Falcons. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So, I mean, Ash, unless you have anything left on this game, you want to...
That is very true. I could agree with that. I mean,
that
also being said, though, if the Buccaneers play the
Cardinals this year, Derrick Henry to West.
Derrick Henry is going to get abused by this Buccaneers defense if he played this season for sure. And also, Derrick Henry never really started. Derrick Henry's never really came out until that year later on in the playoffs. Like when you saw Derrick Henry
against Arizona than he did against the Bucs. You want to get into that game first?
Derrick Henry back then in 2019, I do think that he didn't really had a coming out game until he played the Patriots and later on the Ravens. That's my point of view about Derrick Henry. Going back to JP's comment.
Well, since we brought up Derrick Henry, you want to dive into that blowout game? That was one of 3 blowouts this week. The Arizona.
I knew that Cardinals defensive line was going to be nasty.
Yeah, they beat the Titans 38-13. Kyler Murray was sensational. He had 289 yards, 4 touchdowns.
I agree, JP. I agree.
Yeah, four passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, 20 yards rushing. I mean, that Chandler Jones, he's got to be player of the week, defensive player of the week. He had 5 sacks in 3 quarters. Yeah, I mean,
that's mad.
He was just abusing. He forced Taylor Lewan to get benched, and Taylor Lewan's one of the better tackles in the NFL. Like he was abusing them.
I mean, I would be terrified of that Cardinals defensive line. And don't forget, they got J.J. Watt too on that D line.
Cardinals that's why they have J.J.
It's going to be nasty. It's going to be underrated because of the Rams. Because the Rams have Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, and those boys. But still, that Cardinals defense, look out. Russell Wilson, you better be ready for when you face those Arizona Cardinals. Because and the Cardinals are offense too. Like Kyler Murray put on a clinic. That man was
made
running
some crazy catches. Did you see those D-Hop catches?
No. Kyler Murray was like legit just running around, and then he was just throwing lasers. Like, I did not know Kyler Murray
and then
could have been that good.
He's
I
been
just didn't
improving
think
every year he's been in the league.
Oh yeah, I
He's
know
only
that,
his
but I
third
just didn't
year.
think. I know, but I just did not think he was going to be that good. I mean, it just has me mind boggles.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna talk fantasy, he was the third best quarterback in fantasy last year, and he put up some incredible numbers when he was healthy before he hurt his ankle.
Well, that is true, but I mean, still, it was just mind-boggling. Like when you see the tape, you know, I wasn't even looking at fantasy points. I was like saying, when you see Kyler Murray's tape, you're just like, geez. Especially that one pass when he just threw a straight laser. I'm sorry, I was just in awe of that play. It was just, I think that summed up the entire game, other than seeing Derrick Henry getting abused and stuff.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Ace? I want to hear your takes.
Well, I thought he was phenomenal this week. He was good last week, I thought. Last season, I thought, but this year he looks even more. How should I say this? Like, in tune with the game, he sees it better. I think it's like that an extra year of experience. He's become like mentally, he's seeing how the defense is playing him and whatnot. So he's just making more magic, and he's not running as much. So he will put himself in like a vulnerable position to get hurt. He's making the plays to find. He's always looking downfield. We were seeing a little of that last year, but this year he's just finding guys. He has 4 good receivers. He's got DeAndre, AJ Green, Rondale Moore, Christian Kirk, who was phenomenal this game. He had best game of career, I think, actually. So the Cardinals, they're gonna be legit, but
I have a funny feeling that is just the beginning for the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, but you gotta remember the entire NFC West. It's only week 1. They're all 1-0. The entire AFC West, all 1-0. The NFC North, that's a crap show right now. We'll get into them. So I mean, if you want to move on,
I'm just saying, like, I think what we saw out of those Cardinals is just the beginning. We also got Let's keep it moving.
Seahawks.
We'll get
Colts. Russell Wilson, 255, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. They had let Russ cook, but also they had almost 100 yards on the ground. Chris Carson had 91 yards rushing against a very tough Colts run defense. They beat the Colts 28-16.
I think the Colts overall have a good defense. I mean,
yeah,
that it just shows like how good the Seattle Seahawks really is.
Mm-hmm. But, I know your Seahawks. Hit it up. Let's see what you got to say with these Seahawks.
That Tyler Lockett bomb had me wowed when I saw that. I just didn't. I thought the game was going to be close, but I was not expecting the Seahawks to be putting up like 3 or 4 touchdowns against the Colts. I was thinking they're going to get like 2 or 3-ish, not like 4. 4 or 5.
Yeah,
I was like 4.
Carson Wentz, he got sacked 4 times. That's pretty good for that Seattle pass rush.
For that Seattle defense, that's a positive. That's a positive look, especially like when you got to worry about other teams in your own division. Yeah, but I mean, it just only shows like how tough that NFC West is. I mean, NFC West, in my opinion, is probably the hardest division in the entire NFL. Period. The entire NFL, that is the hardest division. I think all of us could agree with that.
And the 49ers, I think, are probably the worst team in that division right now. They just lost Raheem Mostert for the whole season. He just announced today.
I saw someone on national television say that the 49ers are the best team in the NFC West. I had to laugh at that. I thought that was a bit outrageous and absurd.
They almost blew in like 38-17 lead against the Detroit Lions. Speaking of which, they did beat the Detroit Lions like 38-31 or something like that. Detroit had the ball with like 30 seconds left with a chance to tie it and or win it. So I was like, there's San Francisco, you had injury to Brandon Ayuk, you lost Raheem Mostert. I don't know why you had Trey Sermon inactive that entire game. I thought he would have been the number 2 running back if anything happened to Mostert, but I guess they like Elijah Mitchell, which I did not. Well, even the San Francisco beat writers didn't even see coming. So, and that defense, you can't allow 31 to Jared Goff-led Detroit Lions. I know they're going to.
I thought that was absurd. I mean,
yeah,
but I mean, still, like, I have higher expectations for the 49ers than to blow that many points against the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
I have higher expectations. Unless the Lions are actually better than we give them credit for. Who knows? Maybe the Lions are probably out of nowhere the second best team in that AFC North.
The NFC North, you mean?
The NFC North, my bad.
Well, I
Who
mean,
knows? They might be the second best team in that division, Ace.
I know. You want to go to the 1 o'clock NFC North game? We had the Minnesota Vikings and Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, Kirk Cousins. I mean, Dalvin Cook was 90 yards, and he had a controversial fumble call in overtime. I mean, I want to focus more with the Bengals though, because the Bengals looked really good.
They look good.
Joe Burrow looked healthy, more or less. Jamar Chase, we can sweep the Jamar Chase hands questions underneath outside the window. Actually,
we could put those away for now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say that.
He was phenomenal.
Don't the Bengals still have guys that are expected to come back still from injuries?
Troy Waynes was inactive this week. He was hurt, I think. Another guy.
How about Higgins and
Higgins was healthy. Boyd was healthy. Mixon got banged up in the middle of the game, but he was more or less fine. Jamar Chase looked phenomenal. The Vikings, that secondary is still a question mark.
Let me ask you this, Ace.
Kind of weird.
How tough do you think the AFC North will be this particular season?
Well,
with the Bengals, how they showed, probably second hardest or third hardest after AFC West.
AFC. It's gonna be NFC, AFC West, respectively 1 and 2, and then it will be probably the AFC North. If I had to pick a division, it'd be the AFC North. Is that third toughest division because. Even though
it is kind
Ravens
of
and Browns lost, it's still going to be tight.
To make that assumption, but I mean, actually, I actually want to talk about that Ravens games and the Browns.
Well, I was going to save that one for last. We're going to do the Browns if you want.
Let's talk about the Ravens. I need to call out the Baltimore Ravens offensive line. I saw some bad blocking on trying to protect their guy Lamar Jackson. Like yes, the man is going to look like Russell Wilson with a terrible O-line. All right, the Baltimore Ravens need to do something with that, or else their guy Lamar Jackson is going to get hurt. Like whoever the owner is, start reaching in your pockets and pay that luxury tax because if Lamar Jackson get hurt,
there's no luxury tax in NFL.
Trade some guys.
Well, I mean, their entire team is getting ACL injury after ACL, Achilles, ACL.
I know, but I'm talking about for the O-line.
It's a two-man race between the Ravens and Saints for which team has the most injuries at this point in the season. It's kind of ridiculous between both of them. The Ravens, I think, have the most guys on IR already.
Yeah, they already do, but I mean, but like not that many offensive line players are hurt though. And like when I saw that game Monday night, I saw a lot of missed blocks.
Well, you got to remember Ronnie Stanley, their best offensive tackle. He was getting beat constantly last night, and he hadn't played since last year when his leg went the wrong way. Essentially, he was carted off the field. So you got to keep that in perspective. The offensive line hasn't played a lot because remember they had the COVID issues earlier in the training camp and all that crap. So you haven't seen the Ravens get to gel properly, almost in a sense.
That is true.
So I think as the season gets on, they're going to get better.
I mean, I do think they're going to get better, but I'm still concerned about that kind of blocking.
I'm more concerned about the defensive play calling. What the hell was that in overtime? Like, you go cover 0, but Marlon Humphrey was nowhere near Zay Jones. Like, if you're going cover 0, you have to play a tight man.
But
what the hell?
But like to me, what like keeps like ringing in my head is just seeing that one missed block before Lamar Jackson fumbled.
Oh, in overtime?
Yes,
because he fumbled twice.
Yeah,
the second one he was trying to. The first one he was trying to run and he got punched out.
No,
the second one.
That second one.
The second one, yeah.
That was just driving me crazy. Like you need to protect your franchise guy.
Mm-hmm.
And a guy like Lamar Jackson is going to need that protection more. He's not the biggest quarterback in the league to take hits, all right? That guy is meant to run around defenders.
Well, I mean, if you want to talk about the biggest guy in the league, Justin Herbert, man, with the Los Angeles Chargers.
How big is Justin Herbert?
He's like he's over 6'6", I think. Dude's a beast. Like he didn't miss the beat. He only had one touchdown on the day, but he was converting third down after third down. He
I
diced
heard
up
he had
the
a really good
Washington
day.
team. Yeah, they diced up that really good
The
Washington.
Chargers are a very slept team in the NFL in my book.
Yeah, they're gonna be right
slept.
behind the Chiefs. They'll be right behind the Chiefs, I think.
If I had to go for that division, it'll be the Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders, and Broncos.
I go Broncos.
Broncos over Raiders?
I like Teddy Bridgewater.
I like Teddy too.
The injury to Judy kind of has me questioning it, but
it could between the Raiders and Broncos. I just need to see
the bottom of the conference. Nobody cares. The AFC West will get the two of the wild card spots, and the either the AFC East or the Chargers is going to get that last wild card spot. Because I can tell you easily, 3 teams are coming out of the AFC North. I think it'll be 3 teams out of the AFC North this year.
But wait a second. You said that the AFC West is the harder division, but you think 3 teams is coming out of the AFC North.
Yeah, because the AFC West, you have to deal with Patrick Mahomes twice and Justin Herbert twice for the other teams.
And guess what? In the AFC North, you got to deal with the Steelers defense twice, and you got to deal with the Cleveland Browns offense twice. And then you got Lamar Jackson in the mix. And now the Cincinnati Bengals are looking better than they were last year. They're not like the worst team in the NFL anymore.
Well, the only reason I said the AFC West was more challenging is because you have Mahomes, Herbert, and then you had Von Miller and Bradley Chubb in Denver.
And that's very true.
I mean,
who knows? Maybe Denver might actually win both matchups against the Raiders. There's some steep expectations for the Raiders this year because they finally have fans in that home arena, but maybe the Broncos may get them twice this year. All right, let's keep it moving. The steel curtain is back.
Oh, steel curtain first?
Steel curtain.
All right, let's get to the steel curtain.
Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen didn't look too hot that game.
Yeah, that is true. TJ Watt's an animal. Him and Melvin.
I left work and I saw the Bills up, and then when I came home, it's out of nowhere the Steelers were up, and that was like in a matter of like less than 15 minutes. And so what happened?
Yeah,
I literally came home that day and I asked Ace what happened that night because, not that night.
But they came back like that. It was that fast.
It was that fast.
Yeah, I mean, TJ Watt and Melvin Ingram on the edge, and then you have a beast in Cam Hayward coming up the middle. It's that front 4, front 7, if you want to call it, whatever they play. I think they play like a 3-4 actually in Pittsburgh, but not important. It's like that's gonna be terrifying to watch. And then you had a guy I don't know who this Pierre guy is, but he played outstanding, I thought, for Pittsburgh in the secondary. Cortland Sutton looks more comfortable playing outside. You have Joe Hayden still there. Minka Fitzpatrick was flying around. And then on offense, they took a while to get going, but once Deontay Johnson got that touchdown after the I think it was the Josh Allen fumble and then Deontay Johnson's circus catch touchdown, Pittsburgh came back like that. They blocked that punt. That game was done after that blocked punt. So
I was just shook by that, but at the same time, I guess I should have knew by now that I should not underestimate that Steelers defense. At least until come playoff time, then I might have some questions, or maybe the Browns offense is just that much better than the Steelers defense.
All right, let's move on a little.
Actually,
quicker.
I must say one thing though before we move on. I do think if the Browns did have an Achilles heel, is their DBs, and I've seen it like twice. There's some Chiefs games when Patrick Mahomes just threw it down to Tyreek, the DB was just lost and everything.
Well,
and even back in that Steelers game that they played in a wild card that year, those DBs were still getting they were struggling against that Steelers offense to contain them. Yes, they routed the Steelers, but still, that defense needs to buff up on their DBs if they want to actually consider winning.
Yeah,
they need to buff up on that if they want to be considered Super Bowl contenders.
I mean, the Browns were up big on the Chiefs, and the Chiefs came out in that second half. Mahomes, Kelsey, Hill, unstoppable.
Remember
except
that
against the Bucs at that point.
Remember that old meme where Eli says, "F it."
Tyreek's down there somewhere.
No. Eli Manning said, "F it." Odell or Sterling Shepard's down there somewhere.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the same thing with Mahomes.
That's
He said
what
it's
happened.
true. He said sometimes it's true because he threw. I think Drew Brees was saying is like that they tell football players not the quarterbacks not to make that throw, running to the right and throwing to your left across body deep, and Tyreek Hill somehow
Well, it's the same thing in
still gets
basketball.
it.
You shouldn't be making cross passes from one side of the court to the other. You know,
Yeah, but it's like
it's the same thing.
they can make some magic there. It's kind of crazy.
The only reason why they got away with that is because the Tyreek speed is something else. All right.
Yeah, but I mean, if we're gonna talk
Speaking
about
of which, ladies and gentlemen, circle this guy's name, Anthony Schwartz. When you see that guy, he's arguably has Tyreek speed, if not probably faster. So, I want you guys to keep your eyes on Anthony Schwartz.
in Cleveland, he's in Cleveland. Don't
In
forget.
the Cleveland Browns, he played well too for his debut. I know when Odell comes back, he's going to get less touches, but watch out for him. He's going to have some explosion plays that probably Cleveland may utilize him like Tyreek Hill. I think he's definitely faster than Henry Ruggs, without a doubt.
Yeah, Henry Ruggs can't get open. He got like 2 catches or whatever. I mean, they were big catches, but he can't get himself open for some reason. But speaking of another Alabama wide receiver, Devontae Smith, he was good in his debut. That's to say the least.
Well, first of all, Anthony Schwartz went to
clicking.
Auburn.
I know, but you mentioned Henry Ruggs. That's why I was like, speaking of
yes,
Alabama.
I agree with you, Kevin. That defensive play was questionable, but that the DBs were also bothering me too when I saw that throughout that second half. So yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, I mean Jalen Hurts, he was dominant if you want to say the least. He had 264 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. In the second blowout of Week 1, where they beat the Falcons 32-6.
Apparently, from a betting standpoint, you kind of made a lot of money if you had betted on that game on the Eagles. I did not know why the Eagles was so much underrated. Like, if you had bet $100, you could have easily made $200 or $300 out of that game.
I mean, the Falcons by far they kind of looked like the worst. They looked like the worst offense, but then again, the Green Bay Packers looked. I don't want to say worse because we know how good the Green Bay Packers can be, but the Falcons look like they almost have the worst.
Just call it Game 1 Green Bay Packers. That's what we'll call them for now.
All right, these Game 1
Green Bay Packers.
Or against the New Orleans Saints just beat down on NFC top dogs in the regular season. That's the other way we could call it too. If we're gonna move on to that game, which was the third blowout of Week 1, where the Saints beat the Packers 38-3. Jameis Winston had the wildest stat line you could think. 5 touchdowns with only 148 yards. He had a 55-yard bomb to Deontay Harris. Like, watch out for him. Flash talking about Anthony Schwartz. Watch out for Deontay Harris.
Deontay Harris is not faster than Anthony Schwartz. Not until I see it hand to hand.
He was burning guys in the playoffs, except the Saints didn't have anybody to throw it deep. He was open like 3 times against the Bears, and Taysom Hill fumbled twice.
That being said, if he has speed, and then guess what? That's a great threat for Jameis Winston to third down deep. Just make sure he gets deep enough to get past the safety.
Oh yeah,
and DBs won't be triple coverage right now, but.
Speaking of which,
Jameis played really
well.
I must give it to Jameis. He played calm, composure. That stat line may be wild, but guess what?
I mean, there was a first down play where Kevin said Jameis still looked goofy at ASF when he plays man, but dude put up major stats. I mean, I didn't think he looked that goofy. He looked calm. He looked composed. There was one play. Calm. Flash, can I give a breakdown on this? I can't pull up the play. I think we'll get copyrighted by the NFL, so I'm not going to pull it up. But I'll just say it was first down, and Jameis had the ball. He had no pressure for 10 seconds, and he was just looking deep to throw it. He was trying to push that ball deep for a big play, and he saw no one was open. And this is how I knew Jameis Winston grew up. Instead of forcing that ball into triple coverage down the field, he threw it away. He didn't even think. He's like, all right, screw it. I'm gonna just go into the next play because that's not there for me this time. if he was in Tampa, that ball's going deep and it's getting picked off. We could both agree on that, right?
I think it has to do a lot with Sean Payton. Sean Payton has put Jameis on a leash, and I know that may sound a bit harsh, but that's the way I gotta control a guy like Jameis. And we also seen Jameis use his legs a lot more too. So far, it seems effective, but I want to see how teams strategize against that as he gets better.
All right.
So overall, I was impressed with
Jameis. Was good.
As long as Jameis plays composed and stuff, and it doesn't make mistakes like that, I think he'll be great. Saints might be the second best team in that NFC South.
All right, so let's get our week 2 picks in before we move on to the NBA because we are kind of moving behind schedule at this point. So Thursday Night Football, Giants, Washington. Who you got?
Washington.
All right, Raiders, Steelers. All right, Eagles, 49ers. Come on, you don't got all day for this.
I know.
I'm gonna say Eagles. I like Eagles.
I like how the Eagles play. I do got some questions for that 49ers. If the Eagles play the same way like how they did against the Falcons, that 49ers defense is going to get exposed. Keep it moving.
All right, Browns, Texans.
Browns.
All right, Saints, Panthers.
Saints.
Broncos, Jaguars.
Broncos.
Saints for me on the last one. Browns on the one before that.
Yeah,
Rams,
Jaguars look like a whole mess in that week 1. So let's see what Urban Meyer can do, assuming he doesn't jump ship to USC.
Rams, Colts.
Rams.
I got Colts.
You got Colts?
Yeah. Bills, Dolphins.
Bills. I think the Bills would bounce.
Dolphins. Bengals, Bears.
With the way how the Bengals play, Bengals.
Falcons, Bucks. Patriots, Jets.
You know what? Zach Wilson. Let's go.
All right. Jets. Vikings, Cardinals.
Cards.
Seahawks, Titans.
Seahawks.
Cowboys, Chargers.
Cowboys.
Chiefs, Rams, Sunday night. Chiefs, Ravens. My bad. Sunday night football. Ravens. Yeah, Chiefs. Yeah, I think
Chiefs. It's Chiefs, dude.
Probably Chiefs, actually. Lions, Packers. I can't. If they lose 2 in a row, the alarm bell's got to start playing. All right, moving on to this NBA.
I have a question for you. Jamal Adams versus Derrick Henry. That's what I want to know.
I don't care. We need to move on.
Dude. I have a funny feeling Jamal Adams might be that one of the few guys in the league that could step up to Derrick Henry face to face.
Thank you, Kevin522. On the last episode, I was talking about the Saints defense being elite. We didn't get to talk about them today because we were kind of behind schedule. Marshawn Lattimore, he was the highest graded corner in the NFL this week. He kind of broke his thumb, so he's going to be out. Marcus Davenport, he had a big sack on Rodgers and a big run stuff. He's also out with a pec strain, so newly acquired Bradley Roby, he's going to be playing right away. Paulson Adebo, watch out for him. He's going to be a ball hawk in this league, and he actually played really good. So, I mean, Saints defense, Mario Davis, Quan Alexander, there's some good linebackers there.
With the amount that you talked about the Saints, you might as well have the Saints banner behind you. Order one off of Amazon for Pete's sake.
All right.
You didn't answer my question. Fine,
yes, Jamal Adams can take down Derrick Henry. I don't know. I don't care. All right, NBA. We're kind of behind schedule.
Let's run.
Tip off onto the NBA. Flash, you want to hit up on the NBA?
Yeah, actually, let's try to run this down really quickly. There's not a whole lot that really went on in the NBA, other than that John Wall wants to get traded from the Rockets, and the Nuggets extended Aaron Gordon to a 4-year, $92 million contract. I guess if they really like Aaron Gordon, I guess you can give him that money. I personally do not think he deserves that kind of money, but hey, if you like Aaron Gordon like that, then hey, pay him like that.
Yeah, that's an overpay, in my opinion. As a Magic fan, that's a massive overpay. Aaron Gordon, he isn't worth over $20 million.
Guys, give me 1 second.
So, yeah. Yeah, they're gonna have to work. I don't know how the Nuggets plan on paying Michael Porter Jr. if you're gonna give $20 million to Aaron Gordon, but that's their whole thing. They're gonna have to work out. John Wall, they're reporting him and the Rockets have mutually agreed for him to be traded. So it's gonna be interesting to see where he goes. I was just starting up with the John Wall conversation. What do you think is gonna be?
I think that's probably best for John Wall, but the way how the Rockets are rebuilding, let Jalen Green take
And
over.
Kevin Porter Jr. There's gonna be those two, I think, running the offense. I think
that might be a good young team to watch out for, but knowing Tillman Fertitta, I mean, he might be cheap when they want their money and then they'll want out. Same reason why Russell Westbrook and James Harden wanted out in Houston. We're gonna see that later on in like 5 to 10 years. It's gonna happen.
Yep.
Let's keep it moving. Bill Russell.
Did we talk about this in-season tournament that the Athletic was talking about? It's gonna be in the owners voting. It's gonna be. They're gonna have like a thing like kind of in the All-Star break almost, where they get $1 million for the winning team players. Each of them get $1 million. So that's gonna be kind of fun if they actually have it. That's actually a good question.
That's a good question. I don't know.
It's kind of because of the off season kind of done. So only place I can see him is Philadelphia for like a Ben Simmons, but the Rockets would have to include a lot of picks in that deal because
Ben Simmons is worth that kind of picks. But that being said,
I'm saying the Sixers are going to win.
The Sixers should actually take up on that. They actually, now I think about it, the Sixers really should take up on that.
Yeah, because there's not a whole lot of teams with a lot of money left from the off-season spending that happened this season.
Is John Wall worth that money? No. Should the Sixers could use him? Yes. Could the Nets probably use him as a bench if they want to go crazy?
No, they can't afford him. That contract.
I know that contract. That's Russell Westbrook's money we're talking about. So you got, but yes, I would trade Ben Simmons for John Wall easily.
Yeah, so
especially the kind of spacing the Sixers have, just have him coming off the bench even at least. That's all they really need, and I think Doc Rivers could take care of him. Because
they were looking at Kyle Lowry, but they didn't get him. So I don't think they signed anybody. Who's their starting point guard now? I can't even remember who it was.
The Knicks. I just saw that comment. Knicks. No. The Knicks got Kemba Walker. Unless John Wall wants to be a backup.
Yeah, Kemba Walker at this point is still better than John Wall, I think.
No,
they both have questionable knees, but
but most people will rely on Kemba Walker a little bit more than John Wall.
And we got to remember, Kemba Walker's on a cheaper contract than John Wall is, so you got to put that in perspective too.
I mean, if he was to go to a salary dump team, I cannot even think about it. But I think right now you got me thinking about it, Ace. It might be the 76ers.
We do got the NBA Hall of Fame that just happened. I mean, we have Bill Russell. He got inducted. You didn't tell me the
details of the in-season tournament. How would that work?
So it'd probably be like it sounds like it's gonna be. They're gonna have to vote on it and all that. But it was just like
you want to know what the NBA should do instead of an in-season tournament for the playoffs? They should do like a tournament based on like their like you know how you have the Eastern Conference like North,
Atlantic, and Southeast.
Yes. They should do something like what the NHL does for the for their All-Star. I think that might actually give more players a spotlight to play.
Oh, you mean like have like a tournament with the best players from each division? That's what you're trying to say?
Yes.
That's not a bad idea. I like that idea.
I think that's more likely to fly with the NBA than with and do it like the same way like how you did it with like you got like whoever reaches to 154 points first wins a game.
Well, that would be more of a 3-on-3 kind of basketball. If they would do that.
No, not 3-on-3. Straight up 5-on-5. Just imagine that.
Yeah, Kevin's making fun of us for our spelling here, where we spelled, I guess, Kevin Pierce wrong. Paul Pierce wrong. I got me talking about Kevin. I don't know where the hell I get Kevin from. Oh, never. Yeah, I get it. All right. You guys got me all tied up. Bill Russell, he got inducted as a coach. Paul
But you
Pierce
like that
got
idea,
inducted.
right, Ace? You like
Yes,
that idea?
yeah, that's actually a good idea. If it'd be 3-on-3 basketball, 3v3,
No,
they're
not
gonna
3v3.
Yeah,
That's
you
what
would
I'm
have to
about
do that. If you're gonna do division based, it will have to be 3v3
No,
because
you could field 10 guys because look at how talented the NBA is now.
yeah, but there's still
Overall,
some bottom tier teams in each division. So
yeah,
I mean,
you just don't make them play as long, just
yeah, that would have to be expanded.
make them score up to
Different
like 80
conversation
something
for
points
another
or
day.
something.
All
I
right.
mean, it's an idea to think
Now
of.
Flash just won't let me move on to this Hall of Fame.
Let's move on then.
Good grief. All right. Bill Russell, coach Paul Pierce. He was making fun of all the 9 teams who passed on him.
Paul Pierce talks too much. Keep it moving.
Yeah. Ben Wallace from undrafted to the Hall of Fame. Congrats to him. Chris Webber made it. Chris Bosh gave Pat Riley his ring.
Good old dinosaur Chris Bosh.
Chris Bosh was telling Chris Webber, was like, "Can you believe we're getting inducted into the Hall of Fame with Bill Russell?" So that was kind of cool to watch.
I mean, I would too.
I mean, you want to talk about this Trae Young and Madison Square Garden thing with the WWE? It's kind of related to basketball.
Trae Young is just trolling the entire city of New York Knicks, and I love it.
Knicks are salty. The fans are still salty.
You know what was funny? You know what was funny? I thought Kevin Knox would have been the better player than Trae Young, but look how the tides has turned, and now I'm enjoying Trae Young. Kevin Knox,
all right,
get your ass in the gym or something, please.
All right. Quick thing before we switch over to college football. The Lakers traded Marc Gasol to Memphis, where he's gonna be bought out, so he can go stay with his family in Spain. So it's not confirmed he is retired, but it's pretty much.
If that really is it for Marc Gasol, I think he had a really great career. So we have no more sound effects, guys. We have no more sound effects, so we can't. We gotta do this.
All right, let's do this college football.
Donovan Mitchell. Let's talk about him.
No, Donovan Mitchell. We got to move on.
We know the Jazz title window is still open. We know that.
Yes, Donovan Mitchell's title window is still open. All right.
Number 1, good old Ohio State. I know my Ohio State fans are deep into saltiness. I know a bunch of my coworkers are salty, and I know a bunch of my friends who are Ohio State fans. I'm calling you out, Joey Bell. If you ever do watch it, I'll send you the link directly from me. That guess what? Ohio State is not going to college football playoffs. They're officially behind Cincinnati Bearcats. Their American Athletic Conference little brothers are officially in front of them. Let's just laugh at that for a little bit, can't we?
Yeah.
Because guess what? Oregon had running backs were looking like gods against.
They ran like the same 3 plays, and they were beating them on it.
Dude, those Oregon running backs were just too fast for those Ohio State DBs. And when they tried tackling him, the guy just lifted up his legs a little bit higher, and he just scored a touchdown. It was just.
It's not as much the running backs I was surprised about. It's that Oregon defense. No, the Oregon defense, that pass rush.
Ohio State
towards the end, they were getting. Well, yeah. The Ohio State defense was bad, but the Oregon defense, they were getting consistent pressure on C.J. Stroud. And that was without projected number 1 pick, Kevon Thibodeau, I think his name is. Like, he's supposed to be going number 1 in the draft. That Oregon defense looked really good. JP said, I wouldn't count out Ohio State yet.
Oh, no, we're not. It's too soon because guess what? The College Football Playoff Committee is going to let them back in if they do something amazing.
I thought C.J. Stroud was amazing, though, for Ohio State.
C.J. Stroud is a great quarterback. I know C.J. Stroud's a great quarterback. I've seen the tape. He is a great quarterback. It's not C.J. Stroud's fault. But that being said, though, it's going to be easier for Ohio State to still make the college football playoffs than Cincinnati just because they play in the Big Ten. That's really it.
I mean, Flash, you realize that both Clemson and Ohio State have suffered losses within the first 2 weeks since Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence left. Just put that in perspective. They have new quarterbacks and they have to figure all their stuff out.
It just shows how good those quarterbacks were.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence
And Justin Fields had a really good work ethic too. He was determined.
Yeah, I don't care what those fake reports were. Justin Fields was amazing. All right.
Oh yeah, going back to the NFL, I was disappointed in Matt Nagy for using Justin Fields
Matt Nagy, he
stereotypical
needs to be fired.
stereotypical black quarterback use. All right. No,
Matt
we've seen
Nagy needs to be fired.
Justin
Move
Fields can
on.
throw the
We're on
ball
college
better
football.
than Andy Dalton. Two teams that got
by. Okay, Alabama.
Ohio State didn't really
was...
get bodied like that though.
Okay, Justin Fields essentially broke his ribs. He had a bad rib cage and hip. Whole thing was messed up from Clemson, and he had to play Alabama like half like a dead man walking, and then Sean Wade was smoking some crack or some crap to think he could cover Devontae Smith 1-on-1.
First of all,
so we need to put that.
First of all, you need to know that Sean Wade is a freaky athlete. All right,
he is, but he should not have been trying to cover Devontae Smith 1-on-1.
Oh no, but guess what? That's what ego does. But anyway,
they were gonna get blasted. That's to be debated.
That is true. It's Alabama. All right, unless Alabama mishaps or something, or some generational athlete shows up, Alabama's gonna be Alabama.
Joe Burrow, LSU team beat Clemson and Alabama, but we won't get into that.
I mean, Deshaun Watson too.
Deshaun Watson too beat Alabama, so I mean, it's not impossible to beat Alabama, but
Trevor Lawrence did.
A different conversation.
Trevor Lawrence did smoke Alabama too.
Yeah, but okay, so we have.
But yes, going
Stanford
back to
and USC, we need to talk about this.
But going back to what you did say about the Oregon defense, so.
Okay, if we're gonna talking about Texas,
let's just go back about the Oregon.
We need to not talk about Texas because
that's the fact that you said that I'm Texas. God damn it! Anyways, what you said about Oregon, that how they managed to take care of Ohio State without that number one overall pick in their number one player in their defense. That's very impressive. If we had the sound effects, we would be doing this. So let's give it to Oregon because they took care of Ohio State and their defense played really well. I don't care what Ohio State's naysayer says that their defense played like piss poor, but guess what? That Oregon defense played really well, and the running backs played really well, and you should watch out for Oregon. That's officially my new Pac-12 favorite now. Now that Washington has gone to the trash can.
Yeah, it's been in the dump. All right, let's talk about another Pac-12 if you want to get into this. USC lost, number 14 USC
to a
lost
mediocre
Stanford was bad. Stanford is bad.
They're bad.
No, I said on 42-28, where USC consequently fired their head coach Clay Helton, I think his name is. Yeah, I don't know too much about him, but apparently
another team that let me down in the Pac-12, USC Trojans. So guess what?
Why are you doing the Florida State?
Because they're saying bye.
That's the whole conversation we need to get to actually. And so once USC fired their coach, the Urban Meyer memes started popping back up. So I don't know how much that's going to be. So USC is a firestorm right now, so we can move on from them, right, Flash?
Yeah, and you know what? Notre Dame narrowly avoid a butt scratcher from Toledo. I mean, what's good? Maybe the coach was right in saying, maybe we should have our players executed. That might be a bit too far, but sheesh.
Notre Dame, they look pathetic too. Florida, USF.
Notre Dame needs to start going down for that.
Yeah, they.
You know what? I'm not going to bash USF entirely.
USF did better than I thought. So they
scored 2 touchdowns. So guess what? They officially get a B rating for what they got on their talents. Jay Peeps can tell me otherwise, but they get a B rating for scoring 2 touchdowns against UF. And you know what? They did not get blown out.
And they got like 2 interceptions. They got 2
interceptions with less than 1 touchdown. So you know what?
Anthony Richardson, though, he is a difference maker for Florida. So hopefully he is healthy to play against Alabama. That showdown, and I think it's going to be.
I'm not even calling that. It's not a showdown, dude.
No, it's not a showdown, but
Alabama's
going to win.
Alabama's going to run through them. Right?
Delusional Florida fans think it's going to be a showdown. So you have to.
It's not a showdown. Don't waste their energies.
Alabama's
if Stank Bastard does see this, do not waste their energy. Alabama's going to run through them. Also, if Steven does see this too, or anyone on that Florida Gators team, or Danny Weldon, whoever. Let's be real.
Alabama. If Florida beats Alabama, well, we'll let people talk their shit, but like I doubt it.
Y'all can come back in the comments and stuff. All right, but yeah, it's not going to be much of a game. Moving on, BYU, Cincinnati, UCF, all heading to the Big 12.
Among other teams, but those are the big three, really.
Well, you know what? That's good. I mean, J Peeps, remember the time that we were talking about angry Gators fans on I-75? We might be seeing a lot of them.
That'll be all right.
Ladies and gentlemen, do not stay off of 75 and stay off of 95.
Yeah, this weekend I would avoid it.
I would avoid 75 and 95 this weekend.
All right, but
it's gonna be bad.
All right.
Anyway,
we're not gonna touch too much on the
Cincinnati and UCF are gonna be the best teams heading into that new Big 12 conference.
Yep. And
I'm not saying not right now because Texas Tech may have a word with that. Sometimes.
Yeah. All right. So touching base, we're gonna just say FAMU beat Fort Valley State 34-7. Junior, I can't say his last name, so don't ask me to. He had like 2 interceptions. I think he wasn't lighting the world on fire. They had another guy come in. There was a good victory for FAMU, but it's okay. So hopefully they can build on that when they play USF. I have no idea who's going to win that game because I don't expect much from USF. But then again, they could still beat FAMU, which wouldn't shock me, or wouldn't shock me if FAMU beat USF. So
honestly, with this past Gators game and knowing that Gators have way more talent, I'm starting to have a little bit more belief in USF. If I had to pick that game, I think I might actually have to lean towards USF with the way how they perform. If they could repeat that performance and actually stay disciplined, otherwise Florida A&M is going to win that game. Like Florida, USF needs to take on Florida A&M. As in if they're playing UF, because if they don't, they're gonna get smacked.
Yes, and let's talk about the last meme of the day. Jacksonville State upsetting FSU.
That might be
their football program is dead. I hate to say it, their football program is dead. They suffered their first loss to an
I'm gonna have to come
team.
on. I'm gonna have to come on the Run and Gun podcast tomorrow to explicitly talk about that with Mr. J Peeps because I need to see what's happening. I know Ace was trying to tell me that I need to take a vacation a bit or something, just to focus on my studies. But I need to see what happened.
FSU.
I know that was bad. I know that was bad play calling, but you have Mackenzie Milton as your quarterback throwing bombs. You should have not made that game close in the first place. I'm sorry.
I have some great facial reactions. That one is,
J Peeps, if you want to make a comment, now's the time. I want a hint.
Well, we're supposed to be actually doing our close-up, so, I mean, this episode was kind of
NFL focused.
Continuous. It was very NFL focused, I think, but we're getting used to this new software, and we don't have a timer and not making excuses. But
to be honest, though, with the NHL news kind of slowing down, the only thing I could really report for the NHL is that the Bulls had their first practice today.
Yeah, the rookies showing up at the training camp around the league. So that essentially means the off season is over. So I think next week we're going to get back more NHL news. And we're also not going to talk about every single game for the NFL.
No, actually, you know what, Ace? We could talk about everything. Well, I mean,
we took too long. We took kind of long.
We could spend 30 minutes talking about the NFL. It's the NFL. Everyone loves the NFL.
Well, folks, we're going to make some programming decisions.
We will improvise, and we shall see. Now that we have a lot more to talk about, we shall see what's going on. But thank you all for coming out tonight. It's been a great episode.
And be a friend, tell a friend. Make sure if you like the video, hit like, subscribe in the bottom. And if you're on Twitter, check us out on the YouTube page to subscribe. It should also be in the link, I think, also. But I'm not entirely sure about that.
Tell a friend. You know how it is, yo.
Retweet it, spread the love, all that good stuff. Help grow the channel. Nothing more we can ask for, essentially. And make sure to stay active in the comments today. We had good participation from Kevin522, so that was fun.
Himself.
And J Peeps. producer JP's coming in with some chiming.
Shout out to Kevin, the homie. Kevin, tell some homies about us. All right. JPeeps, we got some work to do tomorrow. See you then. Hit it.